when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes.
Maybe that's the real punk rock.
You die, I die.
You got life! Cowhide. Synthetic cowhide.
He's flying.
Scooby-Doo.
Are you watching closely?
Fun.
All right. Hi.
Hey.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
I don't know that I've actually said this thought, but I've had this thought of making sure I bring old guests or less common guests back on to ensure that I'm still friends with them.
Less popular. No, it's okay. I understand. Less popular. I get it. No, you're fine.
No, because last time it must have been State of Star Wars 2025 or something.
It's been a while.
I think I said you're usually my Star Wars guy, and then you said, well, I'd love to talk about Motorsports movie on top of Aragon, which is coming out next year, hopefully. But those were like the things that you said. It's not Star Wars that you would love to talk about, and so here we are. Sorry for throwing you under the bus. I will do more with you. I usually default to the people I know are free and have
that's
a ton of things to talk
fair.
about. I think we do have a couple other things.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it because schedule's been busy, life's been absurd. So I'm slowly but surely making our way through it. Don't know how, but we're getting there.
All right, who is doing that? That was a different Discord. I should turn that off so I don't get pinged from random things. Yeah. All right. First off, I wanted to ask for an update. Is this the Binding of Isaac or is this the F1?
What?
I think the Binding. What is? I'm not familiar with the Binding of Isaac. I've heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's just because his name is Isaac. It's a game. I knew that. It's a cool 2D game.
Okay.
We're not going to tie Isaac up today.
Are you doing an intro or no?
No, we haven't done intros in like a year and a half.
Again, I don't know. I've been out of the loop for a while.
That's okay. But, I was going to ask you if you have seen or how far you've gotten into Maul Shadow Lord. And then before The Mandalorian and Grogu comes out, I think this weekend, I wanted to hear your thoughts on it before we do a State of Star Wars, maybe in a month or two or something like that.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to get through Maul Shadow Lord and also talk about State of Star Wars. But that's after the movie, of course.
Dad and I actually just watched episode 7 and 8 today of Maul Shadow Lord.
Nice.
We both really like it.
That is the last one.
There's 9 and 10.
Okay.
There's still 2 episodes left that we haven't done. But
there you go. That's what I know.
We both really, really like it. We're a fan.
Yeah.
So looking forward to seeing how it ends. I kind of am spoiled because I've watched Rebels, so I know there's not as much of a like a climax for it in terms of Maul's story, but
sure,
it's fun. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I suppose this is remind me when it takes place.
It takes place after the events of the Clone Wars, but before the events of Rebels. Okay. So it kind of sounds like it's also taking place right before Rogue One, or not Rogue One, sorry, Solo.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
It's a fun interim that we didn't really need a story for, but now that we have it, I'm not complaining.
Sure.
It's rare.
And then what do you think about Mandalorian and Grogu at this point in the marketing and in what you're expecting?
I'm not expecting a lot, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, it's the first movie that they've gone to theaters with for Star Wars since...
Yeah.
Was Solo the last one?
No. Are you saying not of the main trilogy? Because Solo was like...
Am I going crazy?
Let me check. Solo was 2018. I thought Rise of Skywalker was 2019.
It might have been.
Yeah, 2019 was Rise of Skywalker. So,
okay. That's the Rise of Sky. So it's hopefully they get a better review than Rise of Skywalker, because to be fair, it's going to be really hard to underperform that one.
Yeah.
But in terms of the marketing, it's been kind of, again, it's been a while since I've seen a movie for Star Wars being promoted, but it seems like there's a lot of like product promotion almost. Like I want to say I've seen like a KFC commercial with it. And there's been a couple of others that I'm like, this is a weird choice considering you're not going to be able to include it in the movie itself.
I think that's the entire point.
That might be the entire point. So.
Somebody was, I think it was William who shared, it's like Geeky Stoics or something, or Stoic Geeks or whatever. They do some Christian content. But one of their latest videos was how Mandalorian and Grogu marketing failed, which is a lot of people are talking about that. But we don't know what the movie's about. Like we know Rhoda the Hutt is in it, but we don't really know the plot. And even people who have seen the first 10 minutes at like Comic-Con still are not excited and don't know anything. So it just feels like a filler episode that's an hour and a half long or however long it is. Yeah,
to me it feels more like they saw the hype of the Mandalorian, and they're like, okay, we need a movie. We kind of want a hit movie to be put in place of it, and it feels like the way that they left off season 1 of Mandalorian felt very finite. I was like, okay, the way that they left season 2. Yeah, seemed very finite. The way that they left season 3 seemed very finite. Like, we're done telling a story. They keep coming back to the well, and it seems to keep producing. So,
I don't know. They will continue to do that until. I mean, I think we used to call the yearly recaps "Is Star Wars" or "Star Wars Dead" or "Is Host Zone Dead," but. That got lame because we knew it was, and it's always about money, but
it always is. But that's not what this episode is about today, is it?
No, I'm actually curious about a lot of things that you have to say today.
I will try not to nerd too much, but just for a little bit of backstory and maybe to lend some credentials to myself. Not that I need it, but I have not watched Drive to Survive at all. I don't really enjoy the drama part of it, and I know that a lot of it is manipulated in the sense of showing things to be more dramatic, more like, oh, these two people hate each other than actually is. But I've been watching Formula One since 2020, basically since COVID hit. I have been watching NASCAR since the late 20 teens, I would say. I've been watching IndyCar since 2020. I got into WEC, World Endurance, I want to say in 2022. I've been into IMSA since 2021, I want to say. I actually went to an IMSA race at Road America this past year. So that was fun. Cars go fast and loud. I've gotten into more some rally, a little bit of like motorcycle racing, but most of my racing expertise, in quotes, is open wheel and like more production style car racing. So the movies that we're talking about, I know a decent amount about. We'll go with that.
Well, I did not know this about you. So
I have
interesting.
Actually, I kid you not. I'll bring it up. I don't know how well it'll show up on your screen, but I am just kind of off to the side. I've turned it off, but while I was waiting for you to show up, I have IndyCar qualifying for the Indy 500 that was on my phone, and I was just watching that. So
funny.
I am a fairly large nerd when it comes to racing.
Yeah,
I can say that pretty confidently.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So, cool. Well, some of the ones that you brought up, I was like, I haven't even heard of those movies. But the ones that I was focusing on today, that I did research on, was Gran Turismo, Ford v Ferrari, and F1. So that's what we're going to focus on.
For sure.
But I just thought I did again. I'm just surprised. I've known you for 4 years now, and I just thought of you as the Star Wars guy.
Oh, I can get nerdy about a lot of things. Don't you worry.
I know that. It's kind of why I invited you a while ago.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
You fall into that category of friends who could just yap about any foreign media
I'll
for anything.
Plenty. Oh, I have some very potent thoughts about some of these movies, but
I bet. So what do you think of, well, actually, of those three, where do you want to start? F1 is obviously newer. I think Gran Turismo was 2023. Ford v Ferrari was 2019. So they're all recent-ish.
Yeah. Well, Gran Turismo and Ford v Ferrari are about the same series, so we can probably talk about those together.
Honor says, man's dressed up as a pit crew guy today. Was that your intention?
No, it wasn't. I have like an award ceremony for my sister I have to go to after this, and I was like, I should throw this on.
Yeah. Anyways.
But
so yes, two of them are closer. Two of them are closer in style and format, obviously with what they're racing. But I still think F1, I might shout the praises higher just because I like Zoom Cars Go Fast, as Ellie and I call it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I really liked all of them to an extent, and I really liked F1 last year. And we saw it, I believe, with Dolby Atmos, so just the sounds was awesome. So
I bet that was fun. Yeah.
Hey,
we can start with F1.
Okay.
That works for me.
We had talked about it. I remember it talked about it with its release. We just did a quick review, but never a full episode. Now that we're going to do a full episode now. This one was out. I actually thought of it being as close to live action Cars as a movie could be. Because even the opening, I said this a while ago, even the opening was like proud, not new guy, but proud racer wakes up, gets out of his trailer, goes and races a car with that. Like that, sure. Even the opening was almost reminiscent of Cars, but then the whole theme is that everyone has to learn to work together, and that's the theme of Cars. Not that there's an old Western town that he has to learn to get out of or whatever, but
it would have been close. Interesting, but so I really like how F1 started. So it starts with we're gonna go nerd here. So it starts with IMSA, International Motor something Sports Car Association.
So that wasn't 24 hours in Daytona.
It was 24 hours of Daytona. So there's two, basically, when it comes to endurance racing, you've got all sorts of different types of endurance racing. The one that is shown in this movie and the one that's shown in Ford v Ferrari and Gran Turismo is sports car racing, which means there are prototype cars included in it. They didn't really show it all that much in F1, but like the 4 biggest ones are the 24 Hours of Daytona, which is the American Endurance Racing Series, which is IMSA. The 24 Hours of Le Mans, which is the World Endurance or WEC Championship, which is European endurance racing.
Okay.
You've got your GT cars, so more like road style cars. So like what Sonny was driving in F1 at the start. Those are GT style cars. And those are more production style cars. And they have the 24 Hours of the Nürburgring, which happened this weekend. And they have the 24 Hours of Spa, which are like the 4 big endurance racing events.
Yeah. So
the 24 Hours of Le Mans is what we'll talk about in the next 2 movies, but the 24 Hours of Daytona is referenced in this one. That's IMSA. It's very fun. I haven't gotten the opportunity to go and do it, to go and watch it, but I've gotten to watch it online, and it's basically 24 hours of beating and banging on a very close quarters style circuit. they actually, similar to the rest of the F1 movie, they got pretty basically like blank check access to the series.
Wow.
Like they were given a car. They filmed a lot of the scenes during like an actual practice of like for the race. They had like camera cars out there. They let them just rip around the circuit. They got a lot of access.
Is that more low key? Like there was a lot of talk about how they filmed F1 because they did it during races and didn't impede on their actual races. But was this more low key where kind of because it was at home and they could do whatever they want? Like it's a lot easier to film there.
Yeah, it probably was a lot. If I had to guess, it was probably a little bit easier for them to work with because it's at home, but also because they probably didn't have a lot of like people in a sense to worry about. Like they could choose 4 or 5 cars and be like, hey, at this time, at night, can we do like a 2-hour shoot with you guys just going around this? This is what we're looking for, all that. I would guess that was probably a lot easier for them to work with. But whereas like once they went over to Europe and started doing stuff, like they were there for some of the practice sessions with their cars. I know they lined them up at a couple of races, like in the back, and then basically just pulled them off once cars started moving. They were never actually, and just might ruin the magic of it, but they were never actually racing. The car. So it's actually, and this is probably for later on, but they did some pretty impressive movie magic with it to make it look like that was the case. So, but yeah, no, I love the opening of that movie. It is spectacular.
Yeah, I think so. And it shows, that was my first introduction to the idea of 24-hour races, which then these other 3 movies had something to do with them. But I think that was cool to show him getting up, hyping himself up. And obviously he was still kind of a lone soul, but he was, obviously Sonny is the driver that you call. Like whoever gets Sonny is going to have a benefit. So, that was really interesting to me. And then leading into the rest of the movie where the idea is that he can drive anything, but F1 is really different. And that's kind of the point. When it comes to the production of the movie, they had F2 cars, they had a lot of CGI, they still had amazing camera work, and they worked with Apple to have those. I mean, okay, we just watched Top Gun Maverick in theaters this weekend because they had the 40-year anniversary for the original, so we didn't watch the original, we watched Top Gun Maverick. But the same idea where they had the 6 IMAX cameras in the cockpit it's the Joseph Kosinski, I think.
I believe so, yes. Yeah, because
he did F1, and he had the same idea where he had cameras in almost impossible spots, and they had swivels that they could race and be able to do those. There was a lot of those spin moves where it was like a POV shot, and then it turned and looked at their face. And I just think being in the cockpit or in the driver's seat was so cool, and it was
legitimately some of the like camera shots that they have for the F1 movie have been introduced to like the broadcast. Because like
that'd be so fun.
The broadcast was like, this is a great shot. Like we want to add this. It's so cool. If you've never seen it, I highly encourage you to go and look at like pictures and videos of them filming. Like you said, there's like huge cameras on the car and they're still driving these suckers around at crazy high speeds. Some of the the shots that they have are like the regular F1 cars. They don't have giant IMAX cameras on them because no team would accept that. But they've got like an additional camera that's like 4K, I think it was. That's recording in 4K. And basically what they did was they just pasted the Apex GP livery. Like they basically just took out, if it was a Red Bull or a Mercedes, took their livery out and put theirs on. So, you'd get a cool, like, oh, look at this guy's he's driving up from the back of the field. It's really cool how they did it. They had
I gotta say, livery is a cool word.
It's a fun word to say. It's the paints. It's the for us Americans. It's the paint scheme.
Oh, so it's a
Livery's the
British
paint
American thing or English?
Yeah, basically. Well, on NASCAR we call them paint schemes.
Yeah, sure. Gotcha. I was thinking about some things that I missed as a non-sport or non-motorsports fan, and one of them that I learned later was the "Through Goes Hamilton" reference. That was probably one where you're like, "Oh, they said the thing."
Yeah,
I looked it up later.
Like he said the thing. He said it.
So that was like a meme from a real race, and then they just put it in the movie because Lewis Hamilton was a producer on it, which I think is amazing because he has kind of a flair for the dramatic and creative style more than just being a driver. And then he was in the movie. Yeah. It was really funny when F1 came out on digital. And everybody was finding like Max Verstappen looking directly down the camera because he's not trained for things like that. And little things like that you miss in just a first watch through, but then you're like, oh, they don't know how to be actors. And they just stand there. They're like awkward. They're like, what do we do? Because usually these guys just want to race cars and they're like, why do I have to be a part of this movie or whatever? But
yeah, that's definitely, that sounds like Verstappen to be like, I don't want to bother with this. But no, I mean, Hamilton was a producer or something like that. He was really involved with the whole process, which also spoilers at the end of the movie is why he's running so high up. He wasn't actually in that race, but none of these races were real.
Well, he knew he couldn't win, but I think he's second.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he let himself do good, which can't fault him. But there's stuff like that. Going back to the beginning, there's just a funny little thing that I noticed, which was when you win the 24 Hours of Daytona, you win a Rolex Daytona.
Yeah,
it's basically the only way to get that watch is you have to win the 24 Hours of Daytona.
Sure.
However, the one of the primary sponsors for this movie was IWC, or the International Watch Company, who is a direct competitor to Rolex.
Oh.
And so
but that was because they sponsored the movie.
Correct. So it's kind of funny because Sonny doesn't want the trophy. He doesn't want to hold it even. And as he's driving away, as he's leaving Daytona, his, pit crew boss guy is like, hey, do you even want the watch? And he's like, no, I've got one already. It was just a funny thing that I noticed of like, you kind of have to put that in to keep the sponsors happy and tell them you don't want the couple $1,000 watch that you just won.
Yeah.
So,
something that actually my tech podcast, Waveform podcast by Marquez Brownlee talked about, because they're all things Apple, Google, Samsung, whatever. They knew that this was happening, and they went and watched it, and they were like, I wonder how all the sponsors went, because on a race car, you can pull a sponsor, you just take the sticker, whatever the word was.
In a sense, basically, good enough.
I know it's way more complicated than that, but with a movie, it's like you are now branding, you're putting your real world branding on a fictitious movie to also get some product placement, but it makes sense in universe. But also you have to approve, like the Ninja Blender needed to approve the use of their logo in the movie on a car that, whatever. Yeah. So it's very interesting. And also possibly the way that I forget the team name. But the way that the brands that were on that team couldn't be on the ones they're usually on. It's not like Red Bull could go sponsor remind me of the team name, the Sonny's team.
Apex.
It's not like Red Bull or whoever could go sponsor that Apex team. I don't know. It's just interesting to think about.
I'm not a business person at all. There's parts of it that I absolutely hate, but that's kind of one of those for like being a fly on the wall for those meetings and being like, hey, like we need some sponsors for our fake F1 car for a movie that we're putting on. Do you want to be a part of this?
Yeah.
Like, I'd just be curious to see how that all ended up playing out.
Yeah.
And like what the sales pitch had to be. Like, did they promise them a percentage of movie revenue to agree to it? Or it's just intriguing.
Yeah.
But no, it was out of all of these, I shouldn't say that. F1 is fun. it's a fun
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
There's parts of it that are very unrealistic.
Mhm.
There's parts of it as like an avid watcher. I'm like this, like the whole introducing an upgrade and suddenly your car goes from being dead last by seconds to fighting for the win. It's not.
Well,
it's not realistic. It's movie magic,
No.
but it's fun movie magic.
yeah. They do those things though, correct? As in that's the art of F1 at least, is upgrading, finding those little things. Hello. Finding those little things that they can improve.
Yeah, that's a very real part of F1 and
Yeah.
any motorsport is trying to find the tiny little advantages, whether they be legal or not, to try and get you to go faster or be better in the turns. So that's very realistic. Like I forget her name. I can't remember her name for the life of me. But our female protagonist, like she has a very real job, and it's a very important job. If she doesn't do her job well, that team is legitimately in the garbage. I mean, we've seen that with how this current F1 season has gone. But it's legitimately like it. It's something that the progression their car takes is very realistic if it takes place over the course of like 3 seasons.
Yeah.
It taking place over like 3 weeks, not so much. But it's fun movie magic. It's like they're this close and they've got it suddenly and everything is clicking. It's fun.
Yeah. What do you think of the ending? Obviously the hero has to win. We have he's flying in our intro only because that was one of the movies I wanted to highlight, as we have our favorite movies in our intro. But what do you think of the ending, how the story progressed? And I really liked the ups and downs. I felt like they definitely, okay, here's another thing. Ellie doesn't like how long it is, which is fine. Long movies are difficult too. And I think I probably took 3 bathroom breaks during it, but I still felt like there was nothing. There was nothing they could cut in my opinion. It all worked well, even if it was boringly long.
I can agree with you there. Like it's a long movie, and you almost have to take a break throughout. But it's
which is why I bought it.
It would be really hard to leave some of that stuff on the cutting room floor.
Yeah,
like because it all makes the ending that much better. Admittedly, I almost would have liked it if the hero didn't win at the end. I think it would have been potentially a lot more realistic in the sense of how the sport actually works. Like, sometimes you just don't win. But I can also understand like sponsor obligations. You have to make the good guy win, and I think the way that they did it was, if dramatized, fairly realistic to how the racing actually works. It was kind of one of those where like going into it understanding that it's a movie about racing. It's not an actual race. Like I can suspend my belief to the point where I'm like, yeah, no, that was actually really good. Like that was fun.
Yeah.
Again, there's parts of it where I'm like that car's destroyed. Like there's no chance that you're actually winning that. But
now that I know that you're such a motorsports guy, I can't believe that I know 2 Isaacs who love cars. And the other
that's true.
The other one is going to be my brother-in-law, and I knew he liked cars. But he just asked my sister-in-law to marry him. So congrats to them.
Congrats to
Anyways, he said that he didn't like F1. He couldn't suspend his disbelief. And that's fine.
That's totally fine.
That's per person, but all of the inaccuracies got to him, which someone, Hank Green, made a video about all of the scientific inaccuracies in Project Hail Mary. And he said it's really good, but he says that everyone who cares about science in any way is going to have some hang up, and that's okay. You can't get everything right. Otherwise it's not like we're talking about a space movie where he travels over the speed of light and meets a rock alien. So like, how much are you going to actually be, he didn't balance the centrifuge, which is some of that stuff is they could have gotten right, but like, give it a break.
No, and I mean, I think for me with all 3, 2 of these movies more than I was able to do it. But like, there's always going to be that one sticking point, that one hang up of like, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
For those two movies, it was very much like, now that I know there's something that isn't very realistic, I'm going to enjoy this as a regular moviegoer. I know it's not a realistic movie. Like it's not trying to portray like an actual race, trying to represent that. But it's a fun movie. I get to watch cars go fast in a movie and eat popcorn. It's a good time.
Yeah.
One other gripe I had was the horrible crash that they showed Sonny getting into.
Yeah.
The problem that I have with it is that is a legitimate crash. And
like inspired by they used a real
actual old footage of a horrible crash.
Yeah.
Somebody's like legitimately horrible crash.
Yeah.
And just pasted him over it.
Yeah.
And it's like that.
It's a little insensitive.
Yeah.
They did that in the Creator, Gareth Edwards movie, where they took the Beirut explosion. Do you remember that? Like from 2019? No, that was way too. A power plant exploded or something and wrecked a whole country or a whole city. And then he took that as reference for an explosion in the movie. And people were like, that's a little insensitive. So same idea. I don't think you should do
that. To answer the question that we have in that live chat.
I was going to say, I was about to read that.
Yeah. So the question is...
Read it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the question is, general question on F1 races, if car go faster, why make illegal?
Seems like a question.
Yeah. Pretty simply put, so that people stay racing. Think about it. If you can do anything possible to make your car go faster, eventually there's going to be a point where you and your team look at each other and like, we can't possibly make this go any faster. Like we are at the limits, but this team, they're still going fast. Like they're beating us by 40 seconds per race. Yeah. You're not going to want to keep racing. It no longer becomes fun. It no longer becomes, it becomes a financial burden to keep trying to do that when it's not the case. So if they put like restrictions on it, if they put rules and say, hey, it might be stupid, but like you can only extend a piece of your car this far past the wheel. The reason why is because they're trying to keep everybody in roughly the same playing field. Yeah. Because then people can actually race. Yep. And that's the case for most racing series. They have those rules. F1 is a little bit different than like WEC and IMSA, which we'll talk about next, in just how it's done. But F1 is very much like a rules. It's governed by a rule book, but everybody is trying to find the loopholes in the rules.
Yeah. But then you get,
and dead.
And I'm back.
Hey, all right.
Nope, it's gonna struggle now.
Darn.
Anyways, we got to move on from F1. And as I'm changing my camera's battery, which other movie would you want to go to? Gran Turismo or Ford v Ferrari? A lot of people said.
Good.
No, I was just gonna say, Ford v Ferrari was a big deal when it came out. I like the concept of Gran Turismo.
Okay.
But we're going to talk about both, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, do we want me to hate on a movie first, or
let's hate on one? Let's do a sandwich or whatever.
Okay. So the movie that I dislike a lot is Gran Turismo.
I remember texting you after I watched it. I was like, I really like it. And you're like, I don't like it.
It is. The story is real. Jan, I wanted to say Marlboro, but that's a cigarette. That's not his. Jan.
It's a long one.
Mattenborough or something like that. Jan. Martinborough. Close enough. I'm impressed that I remember that. His story is real. He was a sim racer who competed, won a spot, won basically the opportunity to go compete to get an actual drive, won that, got his actual drive. I have a lot of gripes with this movie. Part of it is the racing. Part of it is the way that they did the storytelling. Again, spoilers for these movies. It's the big hang up for this movie, like the big plot point for the movie, is Jan has a horrific crash that kills bystanders at the Nürburgring Nordschleife, at the 24 hours of Nürburgring. That actually happened. Unfortunately, he was in a horrific crash and some bystanders were killed. However, that happened earlier in his story than the movie makes it out. Or no, sorry, that happened later in his life than the movie makes it out to be. The movie makes it out. I want to make sure I have this correct. Let me check my facts. Yes, that was after.
They compressed a lot of his story into a short time.
Yes, so the crash at the Nürburgring happened in 2015. He raced at Le Mans in 2011. So they made it seem like the crash happened while he was gearing up to race Le Mans, and he had to overcome that in order to then race. It didn't. He was already done with racing prototypes, and then went there, and like legitimately, it legitimately screwed him up. Like he just got back into racing cars again, like within the past couple of years, I want to say. But I'll praise the movie a little bit, but I really like the visuals on it. Like the visuals, I liked how they were able to go from like actual racing car to like a graphic style.
Yeah, that
cutaway of it. Yeah. Oh, it was so really cool. Like the visuals of it were great. I love the story of it being like a kid, who races sim becomes good enough to race an actual car again, because it's a true story, but it's also one of those like, hey, this little fun thing that I do, it actually worked out in the end, and it's fun. Again, as somebody who watches races, this one was probably the hardest for me to suspend my disbelief for a couple of reasons. The crash was kind of the one that put me over the edge of like, this is, it's just frustrating that you're using this legitimate thing to be a plot point for something that it wasn't even a plot point for. The whole gripes again, the whole idea of him like at the actual 24 hours of Le Mans, like moving to the outside of the corner to overtake everybody with like an hour to go.
Yeah.
That would never happen. It might happen in the sim because they haven't coded in like there being dust and debris and rubber and gravel and all that on the outside of the track. It might work in the sim. In real life, the moment he starts to go out there and turns in, he's crashing.
Yeah.
It was kind of one of those like, this is our central plot point, is the fact that he's able to, disobey physics and win. Like, oh yeah, that's great, good for him. I had my own gripes about it. I think if I could watch it as like knowing this isn't an actual story, like if it was more of an F1 story of like, this isn't an actual team, it's not actual people, it's just a fun story to work with, I think I'd enjoy it a lot more. But the fact that it's based off of a true story, I don't like it.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't want to spend. I do want to get to Ford versus Ferrari, but
no, you're fine.
That's
you. But you said you really liked this movie. What about this movie did you really enjoy?
I mean, it. The more I thought of it, the more it's. I've seen the basic trend for these movies, and it is something that you study in film school, or at least a film class that I've taken a few of.
Take your word for it.
It's the This is the normal. This is what's normal.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's cool. This is the problem. This is a good win. And then the mentor needs to get them out of a rut to get to the final climax. Like that's the 3 acts.
Okay.
But I just saw it very much so in this movie. And I believe, like I said, they shrunk a whole bunch of his story down to just a movie to make it feel like it happened in 6 months or something.
Yeah.
And that, and I think it did fall prey to just being generic up and down. I like the visuals. I like his
That was my dad.
That's so funny. We need to go back and look at that later. The whole thing with his dad, I think, was unique and special to that movie, and I think was good and maybe even pretty accurate to what actually happened. But his dad flipping to be encouraging, I think, was really great for the movie. What else did I like? I did like David Harbour. I was like, I don't want to have to look that up. Your dad is a weird sound for a dog's name. That's good. David Harbour was pretty decent. Did you hear me say Rita Ihondor's chat?
I told my he said he did it, got to the top of the stairs and went, whoopsie.
That's hilarious. I said I like David Harbour's. He did have a little bit of emotion there at the end, and at least he wasn't playing Alexei from Thunderbolts or from Black Widow or.
That's the same guy.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Oh my gosh!
Natasha and Yelena's dad is David Harbour. I've always had a problem with him playing Red Guardian because he's not Russian, and they can get a Russian person. Not that I get hung up on that. I just don't think he does a good Russian accent. I think he does it way over the top.
Not. Yeah, no.
I would rather have like okay, this is a side tangent. The Russians from Daredevil season 1, I felt were real Russians, and he's just like the most Russian he could be. Like he just puts everything into being Russian. And I'm like, that's annoying. And then they butchered him in Stranger Things season 5, so that's why I don't like him very much. But I liked him in Gran Turismo. Anyways, we got 9 minutes. I wanted to get to Ford vs. Ferrari, which is a good movie.
My favorite one out of all three.
Did you have anything left about Gran Turismo?
No. I've complained about it enough.
Okay. Ford versus Ferrari.
Which my favorite of the 3.
Yes. I think I would still put F1 above for me personally.
That's fair.
But not by much. I did like Ford v Ferrari, which I learned was titled Le Mans 66 in some European countries because that's probably more eye-catching. It was changed. It changed name. Also, there's not a lot of Ford versus Ferrari. Before I watched it, I assumed that one of the guys was Henry Ford and one of them, or not one of the guys, not actually Henry Ford, but like one of them was Team Ford and one of them was Team Ferrari. I didn't know if it was Damon or Bale. That's not it at all. It's both of them. And the way they present them on the poster makes it seem like that. So that's a gripe that I have with marketing. But it's almost, yeah. The Ferrari scenes were cool because they were like, oh, we are French and we are, or whatever it is. Is it French?
French. They're Italian.
Italian, my bad.
They've got the Italian flag in their logo.
I don't know what their logo looks like.
It's a prancing horse.
Anyways.
Well, I suppose they have yellow in it, but they've got the red, white, and green of the Italian flag in it. Anyway, yes.
That there was one scene of that, and then they're just kind of off in the distance. But the whole movie is more of like, I need their names in front of me. Ken Miles and Shelby working together, and also working kind of against Henry Ford II. So. I also, I forgot John Bernthal was in it. I didn't forget. I really liked him in that. I wish he would have told me something. I got to tell you something. But he didn't tell me something. He was still really good. What do you think?
I loved it. It was a great movie. I think there was maybe because I haven't done as in-depth research into the whole story of how Ford got introduced into Le Mans and World Endurance. But like I love the characters that they had based on a true story yet again. Again, something's dramatized for it, but Ken Miles, real guy, actually raced, actually died. It was a good story, and I think I think they did it justice. There's a lot of fun parts to it. There's definitely, like you said, there's the problem that happens and the resolution to get out of it and all of that. I think I did that wrong. I think it was down, then up, then down, then back up. I don't remember. I
didn't know they were going to end after his death. I didn't even know he died. So that I thought that him testing that car at the end was going to be the final scene of like, oh, he's having fun racing, which is kind of a twist, I'll admit. But they also followed up with Shelby following up with Ken Miles Jr. or whatever. But really quick, James Mangold directed this, and I totally forgot that he, besides Dial of Destiny, he has some pretty good movies under his belt. He's got Logan, he's got Wolverine. Apparently people like To Complete Unknown, which was Bob
310 to
Dylan.
Yuma?
Yeah, I know that people like that one.
He's got some great movies under his belt. Holy
Executive
cow.
producer for The Greatest Showman, creative consultant for John Wick. A lot of people love James Mangold, but mostly for Logan and Wolverine.
Call of the Wild too. That was it.
People didn't like that one. People did.
Oh, I like that one.
Okay, that's fine.
To be fair, that was the first movie I ever watched at a drive-in. So,
fun.
A little more fond of it. But no, Ford v Ferrari. Loved it. It was great. It was definitely more realistic. Again, it takes place a lot longer ago, so it threw me for a loop with like some of the fake overhead shots of the last couple corners of of Le Mans, but I figured it out eventually. It was fun. Like the way that the story ended in terms of who actually won, that was a legitimate, like that's actually how it happened. That was the actual rules that went into it. It was just, again, parts of it are dramatized. Like the whole 7,000 plus, like go like hell, like that. Yeah, it like dramatized for the movie, for the audience watching. Yeah, but like the fact that they had to race at Daytona in order to get permission from the company to go. That actually was how it worked. Like they had to fight tooth and nail in order to get the Shelby GT over in it.
Yeah. And I think I like the movies where you have to go against the system. Not that I'm that type of person, but the way to win was to use Ken Miles. And he, first off, the problem was like making the car. And then once he got into the car, he's like, oh, this has got to go. This has got to go. We got to use the dragon. So there was that step. And then there was also okay, you built this car, but now you don't get to race it. And then that was another hurdle where then they were like, okay, Ken is the only person who can do this, even though he can't talk in front of a camera or whatever. And there was that one guy, I forgot who, Josh Lucas or Leo Beebe, who is the senior executive vice president, who is like, Ford, and you, Ken Miles is a stupid and whatever.
I think they played up like Miles' disappointment and rejection and not being able to race in the first Le Mans well, because like they introduced him as a car guy. Like he's explaining to a guy like, this is how you got to do it properly. He goes and he races his own car. Like they play it up so well as he's a mechanic, he's a driver. He knows what he's talking about. Yeah. And then just like, oh my gosh, like the car's ready. Like the car can actually go. Like, oh, this is great. And then it's like the crushing disappointment of like, I felt it watching it. I was like, oh, he's not able to go like that. Oh shoot.
Christian Bale had just done Vice, which I am keen on seeing.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
I watched a review. I think it was actually Critical Drinker's review, and he said it was fun seeing Christian Bale be more serious, even though he was ecstatic. He was serious versus some other more goofy. I don't even know that he's a goofy person or goofy actor, but I think he brings a great character to Ken Miles. And obviously I think he was perfect because he was British and Ken Miles was British, and he just kind of laid into that a little bit. I forget that sometimes.
It was also, I know I was talking about it with F1, but I liked how they end. Like, obviously it's a real, unlike F1, they can't like manipulate it so that he wins all the time. But I liked the way that they did it. I liked how like they celebrated like they had won, only for the rules lawyer to come in and be like, actually, you didn't.
Yeah.
But I also, like, as callous potentially as it sounds, I like the fact that they ended on him dying. Like, again, it sounds really harsh, but I like the fact that we have all that build up. Like, we're celebrating with Ken. We learn that he doesn't win, and they're like, all right, he's going to get him next year. Like, boom. He knows the rules now. It's not going to happen again. He's going to get him next year. And then it's like oh shoot.
Yeah. I wonder. Okay, so I've been a little convicted to try and bring back our Christian perspective into these movies that we talk about. And I think the one that we can take away from Ford v Ferrari and end this episode on is just that you're not guaranteed tomorrow. And yes, Ken was a little reckless in how he was driving and maybe kind of deserved it. But
most race car drivers are. They have basically no self-preservation.
It's still very sad. And I believe the actual story, I don't know that it was shown all that much in the movie at the end, was that he hit a bump or something and flipped the car. Like it went off the hill and spun vertically and he was ejected.
That might be...
No, I looked up the original story.
Oh, you did?
I just don't know if they showed that as how the crash happened.
I think it was just, we just saw heard a crash and a smoke plume went up.
Yeah,
and everybody was
probably.
Like,
But you're not guaranteed tomorrow. And for Ken, it was all about driving, and suddenly that was taken away from him. So that's sad, but that's the reality.
I think I can agree with you in that. And there's no guarantee of tomorrow. It not only is that like a Christian perspective, but also that's a real world perspective of you gotta live each day like you're not going to be coming back tomorrow. You know, tell those that you love I love you. Make amends when and where you can. But yeah, you can't treat every day like you don't want to waste a day because you might not get another.
And be satisfied with where you're at with God.
Oh yeah,
is a big one. Personally, and with your savior, or with who I hope would be your savior. But we want to always bring it back. That's how I say.
Little weird to say that in terms of a racing movie where everybody always wants more, but
that's true. That's true.
But no, I know what you're saying. But
there was even teamwork in that movie too, even though they didn't get the other Ford drivers didn't get that much screen time. Ken decided to be a team player. That was his character arc. He chose not to go with it. He chose not to do it all for himself, even though he could have. So,
it was. All in all, I like racing movies. There have been very few in the end that I don't enjoy to some degree, other than Gran Turismo.
Give a few more suggestions just in this genre. Just because you did at the beginning. Cars. We should have had you on Cars 2 and 3. Give your thoughts on Cars 2 and 3 as well. Josh and I got heated at that.
I have.
Maybe we'll do Cars Revisited.
World Grand Prix. I want more of that. Anyway.
Oh, okay. I do think we should do more revisited episodes. I think Zach and I are going to do the Prestige Revisited soon, but maybe we'll do a Cars Revisited with you now that we know that you're a sports car guy.
Not sports car. Car racing.
Car racing.
I love sports cars. They're fun.
Yeah.
But car racing. So Cars, it's a very fun one. A lot of NASCAR stuff with that. Talladega Nights, little less of like the seriousness, more the crazy with it. That's a fun one. Need for Speed, some people say there's arguments over whether or not it's a legitimate car racing movie. In the end, though, I would say if you had the opportunity to watch Ford v Ferrari, like out of all of them, I'd say probably Ford v Ferrari F1 and cars kind of right there with each other.
Yeah. I think so.
If you like video games, Gran Turismo, if you're a racing person, go into it understanding that it's not really realistic.
Yeah.
Have fun with it, but
Yeah.
it
is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyways, I gotta go. Thank you, Isaac, for joining me for this hour. Good to have you back, and we'll see you maybe in a month or two. Listener, make sure to share and like and subscribe and all that stuff. Please do that. Share with a friend.
YouTube people.
We still have stickers, and I believe Isaac got a sticker, didn't you?
I did get a sticker. I do have a sticker.
I sent you a sticker. So
I know.
get your free sticker. Just link in the description. And until next week, know that you're loved. God bless.